Okay, this video is about how I got arrested for a burglary that I did not commit back in 2017 when I first got on suboxone. I was literally at my second appointment to get my prescription, and after I saw my doctor, I was waiting outside for the bus, and I get a phone call, and it was a detective. And at first, I thought it was a joke, but this detective explained that he has me on camera inside of a deli burglarizing it. And it was confusing, but he said that if I didn't turn myself in, that there's going to be a warrant out for my arrest. So I knew I didn't do it. So I figured they were just questioning me for it or something. I figured they just wanted to question me for it. I thought he was just trying to scare me or something, trying to get me in there for questioning or some crap. So anyway, I get on the bus and I'm just so confused. And what I did, I went to fill my Suboxone, right? Because something told me I was getting arrested. And I picked up my Suboxone, I took one, and I left the rest of it in my room on the shelf in my closet. And I went to the police station and I told the receptionist that I was there to see a detective, and she told me to wait. And I was literally waiting in the lobby for like 30 minutes. And I swear I wanted to get up and leave a few times, but I ended up staying there. And when the detective came out, he greeted me. He was acting like he was my best friend and all that. But as soon as we got into the interrogation room, everything changed. He was accusing me of burglary, that it doesn't matter what I say, I'm being arrested. And at the time I didn't know that you weren't supposed to talk to the police. And I was trying to explain my way out of it, trying to give him logic and reasoning and all this stuff, and he just wasn't having it. And it reminded me of when I was a kid, when I would be telling the truth about something, but I would feel like everybody thought I was lying, from my body language, because I would feel guilty even if I wasn't guilty of something. I'm sure a lot of you can relate with this. But he ended up cuffing me and reading me my Miranda rights, and he took me to the county jail. And I remember walking out of the police station in handcuffs. It was still sunny out, and I was just in total disbelief of what was happening. When I got to the jail, they processed me in, and I went to sleep immediately, because whenever I go to jail, I go to sleep immediately to escape reality. So I got up and I was still in disbelief. And I was fearful because I knew that I didn't have my Suboxone, and I knew that I was going to be sick. So I didn't start getting sick until like the second day or whatever. And I remember by the fifth day, that's when I really started to get sick. But somehow, some way, I convinced my mom that I don't even talk to. And back then, I still barely even talked to her. And she bonded me out for $1,000. To this day, I don't even know how I convinced her to do that, but she did it. And so as soon as I get bonded out, I go back home. I was renting a room from this one guy, right? And I go to look for my Suboxone, it's not there. And I question him about it. He pretends like he doesn't know what I'm talking about or whatever. But I know he was BSing me. He had to have sold it or something, right? So I remember I picked up some booze and I started drinking myself silly. And I remember calling my mom, crying and thanking her and all this stuff, right? And they ended up dragging me through the mud for 2 years for this. 2 years. I kept telling them, hey, let's take this to trial. I know that I didn't do this. And I'll admit there are definitely times during this whole 2 years where I thought about taking a plea deal, because my lawyer, public defender, and I had the best public defender there. But she had a really good plea deal for me. It was like 1 year probation and a fine or some crap like that. And I was very tempted to take it because I was tired of going to court. I was tired of worrying about it and all that. I really thought that I was going to prison for something I didn't do. And it was traumatizing. It was just awful. And I remember the prosecutor kept postponing the trial, right? And I remember towards the end, I asked for a bench trial. I forgot why I did this, but I think the logic was that, if you go to a Walmart and you look around, that's your jury. Just pick out 12 people and that's your jury. And I just wasn't willing to allow my life to be in the hands of 12 people that aren't all that smart. That's why I wanted a bench trial towards the end, because I just figured it would be better to just tell the judge what happened and to have him decide. But anyway, long story short, I went to see my lawyer one day, right? And I brought my roommate with me because my roommate was well, not the guy that I was renting from. There was another guy that was living there, and he's one of my good friends. But back then, he came with me to talk to my lawyer, and he brought it up. He's like, "Hey, can we take a look at that video?" And for some reason, it never dawned on me to ask my lawyer, so let's take a look at that video. And I remember once I saw that video, it was obvious it was not me. And I was just like, and this is what I was literally, that day, I was about to take a plea deal. And from that moment forward, once I saw the video, I was dead set on going to trial, even though they kept postponing them and all this stuff. They knew I didn't do it. For what reason did they target me? To this day, I don't know. But the day that they dropped it and let it all go, it was the day of my trial, right? I think it was, where, yeah, I was going to trial. They didn't postpone it or whatever. And I remember I was in the elevator and my lawyer walked on the elevator and she just told me that I don't have to go to court. They dropped it, they dismissed it. And I just remember how happy I felt and how relieved I felt. And at the time, I had some mushrooms growing and I ended up eating them that night and celebrating. But before I did that, I went outside, drank some booze, smoked a little bit of weed, and I just looked up at the sky and just looked at birds flying around and all that. And I was just enjoying myself, feeling peaceful for the first time in 2 years. And I remember I actually got the courage to eat some of those mushrooms. And I remember I celebrated. I let out some emotion that I've been bottling up for 2 years. And it was definitely a liberating experience. I was laughing. I was making fun of the prosecutor. And it was just really clever and funny. And I was amusing my roommate. And yeah, it was really fun. But I originally wanted to tell this story because it has a lot to do with my suboxone story, because it was literally right in the beginning of all this. Back in 2017 is when I got on it. And it's been a battle since. And I'm inching closer to detox because I'm in this hotel room right now. I'm paying $80 a night because I have nowhere to go right now. And I'm running out of money and I don't want to pay anymore. I might pay for one more night, but I'm just, I'm fed up. I'm really starting to make plans to go to a detox or something to where I can actually get off of this stuff safely. So thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please hit the like button. Subscribe if you resonated with this. I'm going to be bringing very good content. I've been kind of lazy to make videos because I've been really depressed, and really unsure of a lot of things. And yeah, if you guys have any advice for me, just let me know. Let's talk. All right, peace out.